Hey there, welcome back. So up to now, we have talked about a lot of things, right? We have started with canvas, we have gone through, drawing elements to functions, to JavaScript objects, to drawing objects, and we have covered a lot. But now, the most important thing about the game development, which is the interaction between the player and the game, right? So you want your players to input something, right? Like controlling a character or something like that. So for that, we are now going to learn about how user input works in JavaScript. So that I'll just create a new file. And let me just initialize this HTML file. Now for this specific example, I'm going to be using the canvas. So I'll just declare the canvas. Okay, so I'm done with the canvas. So now I need to define the script. So first I will get a context reference of the canvas. Okay, so I got the CTX. Now, first let's talk about there are different types of events that can occur. You can control, the user can control the game using different types of things. They can control the game using your keyboard, or they can control the game using their mouse, right? So for keyboard and mouse, we have different functions. So first let's talk about the functions related to mouse. So the left mouse button click and left mouse button release, right? So these are the two different functions, on mouse down and on mouse up. So let me define the on mouse down function, which means that it doesn't mean that you click. A click is a complete press and release, whereas mouse down means you have clicked but you haven't yet released. So this is how we do that. So what we are saying in this function is that when this document.getElement by id ctx, it's obviously the canvas, right? This is the canvas reference, and on mouse down. So this line simply means that if an user clicks, if the user presses the mouse on the canvas, then fire this function, this function. So we are now going to specify that what would that function do. So first let me just change the fill style. And I'm not using the canvas state and all because it's not necessary for this tutorial. So I've changed the fill style to blue. Now I'll just draw a rectangle. That's it, right? So whenever the user presses and holds a mouse on the canvas, then this rectangle would be drawn. So let's just do one thing and run this. So this is our canvas. Now I'll just press and hold. So this is right. So when I release it, it still stays there. But if I just refresh this page and I press and hold, then this appears, right? Now let's do one more thing. Now rather than on mouse down, let's try on mouse up. Now I'm just filling a rectangle in the same position with the same height and width and all that, and also changing the fill style to red. So what this is going to do is, when I'm going to press and hold, then a rectangle would be drawn on the canvas with the color blue, and when I will release, then that rectangle will become red, because I'm drawing the same rectangle over that, right? So that rectangle will become red. So if I just refresh this page now, if I press and hold, it's blue. If I release, it would be red. Press and hold, it's again blue. Release, it's red, right? So if there is a continuous clicking, so you will get something like this. So this is how you can monitor the mouse clicks, right? Mouse down and mouse up. Now you can together, these two can be a single mouse click. So after this, what we are going to see is, what if you want the players to control the game using their keyboard, not using their mouse? So for using their keyboard, we can define a function like this. Okay, so for key press, you don't need that get element by ID and all that, but because you're just simply interacting with the keyboard. So when the user is in there, in the page, and you click some of the specific keys that you have coded, then those will be counted inside of this on key down function. So if you press a key in that HTML document, then this function will get called. This function takes as argument event, and I will just let you know why you need this event. So this function takes an argument which is an event, right? Now in your keyboard, in your mouse, there is only a single left mouse button, right? I'm not talking about the right mouse button. So in your mouse, the main action button is the left mouse button, right? So you can go in there, you can just click only a single button. But when we are talking about your keyboard, then there is a hell lot of keys, right? There are so many number of keys. So how would you know that which key is pressed by the user? So for that, we will refer to the ASCII representation of the keys, right? So as you can see on your laptop keyboard right now, you have an A and a S and a D, you have those arrow keys and all that. So each of those keys have some specific ASCII attached to it. So for example, A has an ASCII value of 65, or the upper arrow has an ASCII value of 38. Your space bar has an ASCII value of 32, and so on. So we will need to refer to these ASCII values whenever we want to track whether these specific keys are pressed. So this is how we are going to do that. Okay, so here we are tracking if A is pressed. So event.keycode will return the ASCII code of the key that has been pressed by the user from your keyboard, right? So if the user has pressed A, then this event.keycode will return 65. So here we are just checking that if event.keycode is 65, then we can just do something like this: ctx.fillText, and I can write here A is pressed, and let's just put it somewhere like 250 and 350. And now if I run this, clicks are still working. But if I press A, look, this is here, right? I just pressed A, so this is just coming out. So this is how it works. Now you can even put an else if over here and mention some other key codes. Like if you want to track spacebar, then you have to put here 32, and I'll just copy this and paste it, and you can just write here spacebar is pressed. And now if I refresh it and I press space, then you see it here, spacebar is pressed. So this is how you can track the different events in a JavaScript page. And you can already guess, right, why would we need that? Because when we will be building our snake game, we need to control our snake. Similarly, when we are building our breakout game, we need to control our base, right, to move that ball around. So this is how it works. And congratulations, you have successfully completed the section 1. And starting the next section, we are gonna straight dive into building games. First we'll build the snake game, which is fairly simple, and then we'll go into building the breakout game. And at the end, I will also give you some more tips. I will also give you some templates if you are planning to build your own games. Like, if you are planning to build your shooter games, if you're planning to add sound to your game or pause screen to your game and all that, you will get to know all about it. But as of now, you have completed section 1. I congratulate you, and I will see you in the next section where we are going to start building the snake. And that's it. And till next time.